What's up, y'all? It's Ashley.
I'm Fee.
It's Melody.
And Cody here. And you've tapped into
The Mama's Den.
We're all mamas, and we've got 11 kids between the four of us. And let's just say we are tired. But we're also friends who are going through this journey of motherhood together.
Each week, we are giving you some laughs, maybe some tears, sharing our personal stories, and of course, giving advice, what we hope is helpful.
This is the show we wish we had before becoming mamas.
So grandmas, aunties, sisters, uncles, daddies, brothers, everybody who's in the village of raising children, we got you.
Shall we get into it, ladies?
Let's do it.
Well, good morning in the Mama's Den.
Good morning.
Yes, okay, wow. Y'all, how's everybody feeling out there? Before we explain all these extra voices, how's everybody doing? Yes.
Y'all can respond.
Yes, it's Cassandra with her sunglasses on, laid out for me.
Talk about tissue.
But you know what? That's a sign of a good time because we are doing something very special today. We have taken our show on the road and we are broadcasting from Yaamava Resort and Casino. Woo! Which is the #1 entertainment destination in Southern California. And we brought our girls and the mamas together for the weekend.
And it's 60 miles away. But do you guys really feel like it was 60 miles away?
It was
Is
60
it just the
miles
traffic?
from downtown.
Okay.
That's how, you know what I'm saying? But it was worth it.
LA traffic sold separately.
Girl.
It's a little add-on if you need it.
Let's just be
man.
honest.
So it was important to us to take time and space for sisterhood because the Mama's Den is as much about these 11 children that we have as it is about finding time to recharge and get together for ourselves. So what has been y'all's favorite parts of this time?
I enjoyed winning the jackpot on Thursday night.
She did that.
I won money, y'all. And I don't gamble, which is crazy. I actually won. Shout out to my girls. Shout out to Fee because Fee was on a
Thank
hunt
you.
to find Wheel of Fortune.
Thank you.
She was like, you have to find Wheel of Fortune. It's the game.
But tell us why.
So my mom loves Wheel of Fortune, and she's always like, Wheel of Fortune, Wheel of Fortune. Every time we were younger, we would go to Reno. And then I'm like, you guys, while we're here, we got to find Wheel of Fortune. Melanie did not give up, okay? We were looking for this damn game, and they said there's only one in the whole entire casino. So we went to that one.
Yep.
I went first.
There was I did see another one. But
Well, we only saw one. It was hard to find that one.
I was really like, no, Wheel of Fortune. I was like, that's got to be like a licensing issue.
You
can't
were,
have Wheel of
friend,
Fortune
you were
in it.
determined.
And then, you were
As I
determined.
was.
And now after I was like, we talked about this. Everybody's got roles. It's like she was on the
Yes.
mission and I felt like I was called to follow the mission.
I just need my 10% though.
So I got you, girl.
Me too, because I was about to sit down. And I was trying to be a nice friend. And then Melanie and I were walking at the same time. I was like, oh, where you going? And she was like, yeah. And then she sat down.
She deboed you?
Deboed
she didn't. She didn't.
No,
she
she
was
she-
walking. We were walking in at the same time, and I didn't realize that she was there. So then I was like, oh, my bad. Go ahead. And then,
My
I
bad, go
watched her
ahead.
win money.
Well, she sat all of 3 minutes.
Literally, I had no idea what I was doing, but God said, "You're a winner today, baby. You're a winner every day, but today you're gonna win some cash." So that was my favorite part. I like the spa. The spa here is really, really beautiful.
Yes.
Beautiful.
The Serrano Spa.
The Serrano Spa. It was really, really nice. My
R&B
massage.
night was cracking. Sorry, friend.
Come on now.
Yeah.
R&B night
was.
was cracking.
No, it was fun. But I think my favorite part was the spa as well, because they have this scent called Earth. And
That's
it
what I
is-
used to.
Me
Really?
too.
We got to choose our scent for our
Yes.
massages.
Wait, what'd you use?
Girl, I don't know. I just said she was trying to tell me all the scents, and I knew that we were late, so I was like, just tell me the names, and then I'll pick lemongrass and something else.
Oh, okay,
I don't know,
okay.
girl. Combo, artsy.
No, but that was a good time. The spa was like absolutely amazing. And I would say the other part was having 12 of our friends join us. Oh, hey, drinks. We're having drinks delivered. It's fine. Let's do this.
Please
Oh,
give
man.
Melissa.
Okay,
her
drink
Bloody
delivery
Mary.
in progress. Because Yaamava Resort and Casino knows how
So
to
you
take
got
care of a
yours.
girl.
They do.
They do.
Okay, and so I just have enjoyed us being able to bring 12 of our friends out to fellowship with us. We had a beautiful dinner together. Oh, we had a cocktail party. We had a beautiful dinner together and brunch where it was important to me that everyone who didn't know each other had an opportunity to meet and just share one thing we could do to support each other.
Yeah. that
And
was
so
dope.
I think that is kind of what I love about our space that we've created. And anytime I get together with mamas and Black women in particular, where we are able to like find ways to elevate each other's voices and pour back into folks.
I'll say this. in all the years and in all the travels that I've done, I've never had a girls trip.
Oh,
I've never taken a girls trip. It's just never been a thing. A lot of my friends live in different cities. I'm friends with various groups of people. So I would say like it's crazy at this point in my life to have like a girl crew, to like make a new girl crew that I see every week, that hang with. We actually get along. We love each other. And then we got to take this trip, which is really important because for me, I've been traveling a lot for work. And there was almost a place where I thought about it. I was like, oh, I'm going to travel again. But it felt different this time. Like, I think I spoke to my kids once while we've been here. I'm like, everything's fine.
My kids, y'all.
Do
I'm
you?
the one. Absolutely. Well, I co-parent.
Yes.
So this is my week with my babies. And so I'm like, okay, Friday passed already. So I love all y'all, but I miss my babies.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
wait, the way we be forcing Melanie to have girl time.
Listen,
Because she said the same thing.
Second girls trip because your first was my birthday party.
That's not a trip.
We went and made a
Girl,
trip.
you know what she meant.
It was an overnight.
It was
overnight.
an overnight with a bunch of
We
girls
wore
in
matching
No, you didn't
pajamas.
trip. No.
I mean,
She
a
means
real
a
trip.
real
Like
trip.
we're at a hotel where we
We
have
were
like.
at an Airbnb.
No,
bro, that's different.
Sis,
It took
no.
us. It
I
took
went
us
home the
3
next
hours
morning.
to get here. It took us 30 minutes to
No,
get
a
to.
trip.
It takes her 2 hours to get everywhere.
That's
she lives
true.
in BF
Have you
Egypt.
done a girls trip before?
Yes, girl, I'm a girl.
sure.
Have you done a girls trip? Yeah, she a girl too.
For sure, 100%.
Yeah, I've done a lot of them too.
Yeah.
No, have not.
She said the same thing after Mariah. After we went to the Hollywood Bowl to see Mariah, she was
Damn,
like,
friend.
"I don't be hanging out with girls like that."
But you have been a lot.
No, it's not that I don't be. I have a lot of girlfriends.
Yes,
But
some
is it
of
a
them are
sisterhood
here.
thing?
Yes.
No, you know what it is? It's just that I think a lot of my friends, I'm friends with a lot of different people.
Yeah.
And so there's not a
Individually.
crew where everybody's friends collectively. So
Until
like,
today.
If I were to do, until the mamas did, truly. Like the last time I think I had a 4-girl like crew like this was when I was in high school.
Oh,
Aw.
yeah. I just make my friends get together even
You
if they
do.
don't like each other.
It's
I don't
very
really care.
Capricorn of you.
I feel like, okay, this might sound a little bit crazy at first, but does everybody know what a homie hopper is?
What?
No.
Say it again.
Okay.
Wait, I do it when they date
this is a sexual thing first. It's
Oh.
gonna start off bad.
We thought it was
Oh,
friends.
so a homie
No,
hopper.
so a homie hopper is when you like mess with somebody and then you mess with the homeboy too. But I feel like homie hopper should have a new like word because I feel like you're a friendship homie hopper and I'm a friendship homie hopper. I like
Oh,
to
I
go
see.
to different crews of friends because
yeah.
I have different versions of myself.
I see where we're
And
going
I
with
think
this.
sometimes people will take
Get
it
it
personally,
together.
but it's
No, listen, it's
you're
fine.
like me, I get
I
you.
get you.
But I
have
just
friends
want
with a
to
lot of people.
clarify that sometimes your boyfriend could be getting away with your husband. So
No, we're not even talking
Where
about them.
are
That
we
was just
going,
a term.
Ashley?
my husband was friends with my ex. She said a homie hopper. I was like, well,
No,
technically
that's
I'm
just
one.
honestly just take that
That's
and throw
important.
it out.
That's important. Ashley wanted to acknowledge that she's a homie hopper. And then she married the homie.
found your- you
she
found
married
your
the
husband.
homie. It's
Sometimes
fine.
you gotta take a
It's
friend.
fine. But Ashley, I know you're in a new season of life, learning how to
am.
ask for help.
Yes.
and-
So I don't know if a lot of you know this already, but I shared that I actually hired a nanny, which is a big deal for me because I homeschool my children. I don't really like people in my house. I don't really like people in general. And so it's like really hard for me to ask for help. I'm just like, it's just not my thing. Like other energy in my home. I'm really like protective of my house and like I feel very protective of my children and my marriage. So I really don't like people being in my home, like bringing their negative energy. Like that's not my jam. Then I didn't want no girl up in my house and then batting her eyes at my husband. Then I'm like on Snapped or something like that. So I was like, but Cody, that's where it goes. That's where it goes. So Cody offered her nanny up, which has been amazing. I'm sure she
It's been like
deeply
2 years
regrets
in
it.
the making.
She regrets it
I
though.
fully regret.
Just
No, I'm
for
just kidding.
full
I don't.
Yes,
I
you do.
don't
does.
regret
Be honest,
it.
friend. It's okay.
In the
It's okay.
summer, we're gonna have to talk. But carry on.
She deeply regrets it, but I don't. But it's been amazing because I think for me, I don't really like I like being there for people and that's my thing, but it's hard for me to do things for myself. And so since I've hired the nanny, I've been able to actually spend more time like doing things with my friends and going to events. And it's been really amazing. And I think that just pours into the whole idea of like having a tribe, but also sometimes you have to hire people to be a part of your tribe. And that's not something that people often talk about. But like getting that help and outsourcing can truly like really change your life.
Y'all know I'm a co-parent, so we got help. We split that thing right down the middle.
Wait, can you share what you were saying the other? Well, actually, we were like completely aligned about like co-parenting when you're not with the father, and how there's like value to married people thinking about co-parenting in the way that you do.
Yeah. If I'm ever in a relationship that is at the level of intensity that me and my children's father was, I feel like it's so important to go in with the mind frame of a co-parent. There should be no reason why moms, women are doing everything, the majority of things. It literally doesn't make sense to me. That was my number one complaint. I was like, I feel like I'm doing everything and I'm overwhelmed and I'm anxious and I have anxious and I have anxiety and I have depression. And I'm like, I really needed help. And unfortunately, it was at a time where that was like foreign for people, you know, was foreign to say like motherhood is overwhelming. But I'm always the one that's like, I am tired. This is hard, period. But now that we're in a space, and mind you, it's taken years to get to this space of peace within co-parenting. But now that we're in a space of, you get the kids on this week, I get the kids on this week. It gives me a week to just be Felicia, just to be an individual. It gives him a week to just be his own individual person. And I really feel like everybody's doing it wrong.
We were talking about how like married people could benefit from like, sure, we typically try to parent at the same time, right? Like it's morning time, I'm making breakfast, he's getting them dressed, like we're splitting duties, or one person is doing all of it. And then in the afternoon or evening dinner, like it's the same, where like the idea of, let's say we have a week on, not to say I'm not home or he's not home, but we have a week where like I'm doing all pickups and dinner.
Yeah.
And then the next week he's doing all pickups and dinner. I'm not saying that works for everybody, but I really liked thinking about partnership and parenthood in that way.
Yeah.
That like you can split duties. We were talking with Ashley Blaine Featherson, who is having a baby soon and trying to get all the advice about like newborn life and even later. And it was like, man, if you really think about the ways in which you can partner with your partner on parenting, there's no rule book.
Yeah.
No.
I feel like if you don't see it, you don't know. You know, but I do think that if you're exposed to it, you're able to learn. To be honest, we grew up in the hood when we were kids. And then my mom got married to a white man, and we moved when we were in high school. We went to literally an all white high school. So everything was very different. But you see families together from when we were in Stockton, and there's no families together at all. So that was my idea of like, oh, that's what this looks like. That's what this thing is. But again, if you don't see it, then you kind of don't know. Yeah. So when I was trying to write my story, there's a lot of things that I've done as knowing who my mom is as a single parent and following the things that she did. And then there's a lot of things that I saw from complete families. Yeah. So it's like I really taken each piece and customize it to this is what works for me, and being okay with that. But I feel like, again, if you don't see it, sometimes it can be challenging. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
What you looking at?
I'm looking at you because I want to butt up. I want to butt up against complete families. The way you said that, just because I love the way you guys. I'm getting emotional. See, we was talking about crying, but you know, my parents were divorced, so the way that parenting was for me, like as a child, was difficult. Love them both individually, but togetherness was not a thing. I appreciate how you guys show up for your kids and how hard you both work at that, and just seeing that and hearing that from you.
Yes, that's a
very
valid
challenging.
Y'all have a complete family in a sense.
We do. I every day I have to remind myself of that. Oh. Every day, because it doesn't look like anybody else's. It looks like mine.
Yes.
It looks like mine, and I've had to do so much work to accept that.
Yeah.
And but the thing is, when there's days where I'm feeling that it doesn't look like society or whatever, I'll call him and say, this is what it is. And he's like, no, Fee, look at our kids. They're phenomenal. They're smart. Happy. They're happy. They're healthy. And so sometimes I do have to get pulled back in to be like, no, this your story, girl. Yeah. Like, you are writing it. You are the one who has the pen to this paper. So I appreciate you saying that.
Well, I also want to point out, I always tell you this, like my parents were not together since I was 2 years old. And I feel like I had the best childhood in the world because my parents were friends. And a lot of my friends' parents got divorced when they were older. So I feel like that was like, you know, also traumatic for them because they thought their life was one way. And then when it happens when you're older, sometimes it's even harder. But I feel like because my parents openly loved each other, they lived in different homes. They never disrespected one another. They, you know, it was always like, when you go over there, that's your stepmom. You have to respect her. Like there was a level of love and a standard that was set that was just love in general. Yeah. And I don't feel like, obviously, I wish I lived with my dad. Like that sucks that we had a split time, but I don't feel like a lack of love or a lack of family. And I feel like to what Cody said is that your family is complete. And I felt like I grew up with a complete family. Like I had an extra mom and I had other siblings, and it was really beautiful. And I just feel like it's about the love that exists, because people can be married and be unhappy and have toxicity in their marriage and their home. Like two people being together in a home does not mean anything. That doesn't make a family.
Not at all.
It's just two people living in a house together.
And you said it yesterday, Fee. You said it. You're like, I'm so glad that my kids get to see me and their father living healthy lifestyles individually.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know, like it's so important. Your kids get to celebrate that and love that for you too, which is the best thing your children could see.
Yeah,
is you being happy and healthy.
That's important. And I think a lot of times for some of us, it's what we experience as children. So with my mom, I saw my mom struggle so hard.
Yeah.
So even now she has her internal things, as we all do. But I've seen her struggle so hard and always being like, well, damn, if my dad was there, but if this, and so this idea of complete family came from this idea of society, all the things, right? But I can definitely say I'm so thankful that, and I check in with my kids all the time. You guys know this. I'm always like, literally a couple weeks ago, I asked them, I'm like, you guys still okay with me and daddy being separate? Are you guys still okay with her being your stepmom? Are you guys still okay with mommy living here and daddy living there? And they literally are like, what are you talking about? We're fine. And I'm like, cool. That's all I wanted to know.
Yeah.
The goal that we've always had, no matter if he thinks this way, I think this way, the goal is always, if we're going to have an argument, we argue over here, but we don't come to this level where the kids are, and we protect this thing. So yeah, it's his levels, y'all.
Well, also shouting out sisterhood, and I'm not gonna put nobody on the spot, but our Marlo, we all have our own relationship with Blair, who is related to the Felicia's children's father, and I'm just I love that we're all able to do that, and that there's a sisterhood there that I'm sure has these complexities and layers, but like, it's just really meaningful to see all of you guys working at your family.
Yes.
But bringing it back to sisterhood, because I think the family tribe is what we were really talking about with the co-parenting and removing complete family and knowing that every family looks different. But like, just us being able to have sisterhood and wanting to, like, we created this space for us and for whoever like listens and enjoys it. But like, before this, like, what was creating new friendships as an adult like for y'all? And y'all get your answers ready, ladies sitting on the couch watching us. Thanks.
Well, you go, Mel, because I feel like you're recently, I guess, going through that now, like building new relationships and friendships.
Yeah, it's really weird. I've made more new girlfriends in the last, I'd say, 3 years of my life than like friends that are really like, wait a second, how, I don't know, it's really different. I don't think you expect to make new friendships and new bonds when you get in like your late 30s, early 40s. You're like, I have all the people in my life. And then a lot of the people that I thought were going to be in my life forever are no longer there, with love. Stay over
We
there.
release them.
I think it's just like seasons of your life. And I'll definitely say that this like unity of the Mama's Den really, I think, opened me up to that the possibility of that could be, because motherhood can feel very isolating. I mean, womanhood is very isolating, as a challenge as it is. Finding women that you feel like you identify, we use this word tribe, where you feel like you fit in, you're seen, you're understood. And I mean, I was so seen and understood here that Ashley made me get pregnant again, because I was definitely with one child and I was like, "Ooh, we good. Check that box." And then she's like, "Are you sure you don't want to have another baby?" I'm like, "I'm sure." And she was just like, "Are you sure? Because I'm having another baby." And then a week later, I was like, "Me too." It was really wild. And I said this in an interview that like I truly believe that being in this energy with you guys manifested my daughter, because her little spirit was obviously just waiting to come and be here with us. And I feel like you guys gave me the permission to feel supported. I didn't feel that when I had my son. When I had my son, I was in this, he's 8 now. And so I was in this space where I was in the thick of my career. I was, older than some of my friends, younger than the friends that were the same age as me. They had already had their kids in like their early 20s. They did the like marriage, mortgage, children thing out of college or whatever. And then, the nature of my business and my life just took me in a different way, where I traveled and worked on my professional development for like 10 years. So by the time I had my son, he was like siloed, where there was no other kids around his age. And so that was very isolating. Like, didn't know how to be, I didn't have many moms that were going through it at the same time as me. So then I met you guys, and then now we have kids that are all the same age, which is crazy because where were y'all when Cameron was born?
Yeah.
But you know, that for me is the true gift. I think at this stage that I'm finding more tribe, more community, and it really does take that to raise children and to just go through life.
Yeah.
Like sometimes it's just talking about everything, just how I'm feeling. Okay, we got hormones, we got body changes, we've got relationship, like all kinds of stuff. Like, you know what I mean? So much going through. Having this space to speak and share and feel understood is really a gift in the season of my life. I'm very grateful.
We are still looking at you all. We'd love to hear how you have built tribe. Yeah, thank you. I know somebody.
I know Cassie was about to be up. Come on now.
She said, "Oh, can't wait."
Step up to the pulpit, girl.
With their sunglasses still on.
I'm joking. I'm fine. I love this conversation. And, I feel like America has really made marriage and family so fragile because if you have both people working full time, both people having dreams, you think only these two people supposed to take care. I did an Instagram post once and I had this aha moment. And I thought, life is a buffet. If you feel lack, add more to the buffet. And so I became really intentional and thinking about, instead of my husband being the one, I have many ones. And so I looked down to my community and I'd be like, Eddie and y'all, I love you. Will you forever be a part of my family? And let me tell you what that means. And they said, yes. And I said, great. Okay, now, and I started to open it up because I spent like 3 years off and on in Rwanda, Africa. Honey, that's there is no, everybody got so many people.
Yeah.
Someone helping to cook, someone else who helps to clean, raise the kids. And this idea of like guilt, we have so much guilt because we've been like indoctrinated that it's meant to be all on our shoulders. Let us be the one. It's not supposed to be. Wherever you feel lack, you are meant to feel it. Where you feel guilt, it means you have been unattending some type of need. And so like what you've been able to do for your life, even my life, like I'm bi-coastal, my husband and my son are in New York, but we have figured out this way to be like, okay, we'll be a month here. Okay, I'll come home for a week. And can I tell you, I wish all moms had at least a week off
y'all need a week.
every month. Like, I've been
I didn't
able to
expect you
have
to say every month,
hobbies,
but I'll
okay?
take it.
I've been able to have like fun things like this.
You here.
I'm here. And then my son gets to have a joyful mother
Yes.
instead of a stressed out mother
Yeah.
whose head is on the table. If that's who you are at the end of the day, but you're there every day with your kid, I don't know. It's about the quality of
Quality,
it,
yeah.
not so much of the quantity. So I appreciate you demystifying it. And also, if you look into the history of family, family is a construct that was made up out of patriarchy's need, not what the women need. But at the beginning, no one knew who the daddies were. Everybody took care of the kids. And then when you needed, money and land, and they were like, no, this is mine. So y'all, question these things. Okay, amen.
Come on now.
No, for real. Thank you, Cassie. Thank you. I don't know if anybody else wants to share, but it made me think of something, which is that like sometimes I struggle with like professional growth from the standpoint of how much time do I want to be like working versus like at home with my kids. And it's more than that. It's like if I had my way, I would be like the house that everyone can come to at any point in time. And like we can be that even if I'm like working, but I want to just be there, like taking care of like everybody's kids and just like creating that community for the children, for myself, because like, you know what I'm saying, but for the children. And so that's what that made me think of.
But
I'm gonna quit this job. Give it to us, queen of community.
Do it on the mic, honey. Do it on the mic.
I'm gonna be real quick though on this.
I can do that.
Because what Cassie said, and I know we started talking about sisterhood, and the connection to sisterhood, and what Cassie followed up and said about like community. And I've shared, and most people know, I spent 7.5 weeks in Bali, and I was just talking to Noelle about it, and I have this, and not to be a conspiracy theorist, but like the world and the society that we're living in right now is antithetical to how we're meant to be as humans.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah, girl.
And so when we talk about this idea of whether or not it's sisterhood or brotherhood or community or village style living, that is really inherent to who we are. It is no accident that we're here at Yaamava.
Your mother is a
Yaamava,
Yaamava.
Yaamava. Okay. But it's no accident. But I also think like, and we're living in some crazy times right now, especially as we see what plays out in the media around how Black and Native women are disrespected and dishonored. It's going to be us and us standing up to sisterhood and community and connection around the village style living. And so even when I created Morning Mindset with Tai and even with Brown Girl Jane and like this idea of sisterhood and community, it's bigger than just saying I have a friend to call. It's bigger than having a mirror that reflects back at you. It's bigger than a connection that we need to share. The idea of village living is inherent to our humanity. And so the more we move away from village style living, being, co-opted by what happens on the phone, co-opted by the bling, the shine, we're moving away from what is inherent to our beings. There was not anyone that went in the village without food, whether or not you were related to that person or not. Whether or not you had or you didn't have. So sisterhood, village, community,
It's where
I'm
it's
here
at.
for it. And I might be moving to Bali next week. Thank you.
Yes.
I guess we're all going to Bali this year.
Keep that door open, girl, because we're coming over.
That should have been the closing.
Angel has a word for us.
Angel's got a word.
It's not gonna be that. I'm not taking you to Bali. But it's on how to build. You asked about community.
Yeah. How you built your tribe.
So when I was pregnant with my first son, no one in LA was having kids because that was just unacceptable to have a child in your 20s. They were like, you're an infant. And I was like, I got all my eggs now though. So I realized I was just like, I'm alone. I'm by myself. It's me and this little boy because my husband was working. So I am very intentional about like finding relationships. So first I joined this one like mom's club. I was the only Black woman in there. The women were very privileged women, and I just was my Black self with my Black child. Had a great time, but then I was just like, I need Black women.
Yeah.
Where are they? And I hunted them down until one time, I think because I was so intent on like manifesting this, while I was on a plane, I was sitting with he was 1 at the time with my 1-year-old son. I was sitting beside a Black man. My son slept the whole flight. He was like, did you drug your child? I was like, no. He said, you know what? My wife, she is a part of this Black moms group in the Valley. I was like, in the Valley? And I was like, can you give me her information? I was like, I don't know you. I don't know your wife, but I still want to find these people. So I ended up meeting his wife. I ended up being a part of this community of Black women and became friends with people who had kids my age. But then from there, I was just like, there's so many Black women that don't know about this group. And I know I'm not the only Black woman in the Valley that's feeling alone being a parent. So me and 3 of those other women, we chartered a chapter of the Mocha Moms, which is a national organization to support mothers of color. And I remember it started with 5 of us. And we now at year 10 have 165 Black women that are like, when I tell you, we have a group for people who like to watch reality TV shows, a group for people who want to just be on the Peloton, but not really use their Peloton. But it's amazing to see how quickly when somebody joins the group, they find their tribe. They're like, oh, you're the person that I've been needing to be with. And I think for a lot of us who are transplants in LA, I think we realize what we are missing from where we're from. Like I had my sisters didn't have to worry about a babysitter. I was their built-in babysitter. There was no who is going to watch my child. So I think, especially when you're not living where you grew up at, it's got to be intentional. I know we all hope that it's just going to, listen, it did happen with me on a plane, but there's something about actually putting the intention of getting the thing that you need. Yeah. That's it. Nobody.
Yes. The intention is really there. I do find that for me, what I'm grateful for with this community of women, and honestly for everybody here, it took intention to be here. It took intention to say, I'm going to carve the time out. I'm going to say yes. I'm going to give myself permission to take the space. I'm going to show up because I know life is busy. Beck is here. Beck and I literally probably live 27 minutes away from each other. We are constantly like, why are we not why have our children not? Should we just start having parties just to celebrate Thursdays? Like we talked about just having parties. Like why?
Please do that, though.
Life gets so busy and it does require, but also too, I love that I'm in a season where people understand like life is going life, but there are moments where you have like this, where we all said yes, we all
Mhm.
took the time, and we all came out. And so I think that to what Angel's saying is like making the intention to be there, making the intention to say, I'm going to carve this time out to connect with other women, to create space for me to be me is really, really important. It's necessary. And I think women should never stop doing that.
Yeah.
Ever. Pre-children, with children, when children are grown.
Yeah.
You know, so many times women get lost in the identity of other people, their children, their partners, their jobs, whatever it is. And then they look up and they're like, wait, who am I? What do I like? What don't I like anymore? I'm connected to this version of myself that I thought I just had to be for forever, but do I even feel like that girl or that woman anymore? You know? And I think that that's what moments like this allow for us to do.
Yeah.
And I just think it's beautiful.
And I think too, the folks that come up to us saying they've heard the podcast and appreciate the space that we've created, like, we all have to be responsible for creating or finding the community that we need. Like life, social media even can be very isolating, but with intention, you can find or create that tribe. Because what we know for sure is that we all need it. Everyone we know is asking for it or creating it, like Angel, and then saying, come to ours, we got you. And I'm just so grateful for what we've built here with the Mama's Den. I'm grateful, like each of you here with us today has either created spaces for us to be a part of or joined our spaces and found someone new. And that's really meaningful to us to be able to provide that too.
Yeah.
So I just want to thank y'all.
It's
for
also
that.
like an ever growing journey. Cause I think for me, like I am like a girl's girl. I have 4 sisters. So like I've always been like that. I love being around women. That's like my jam.
Yeah.
And everything that I do is typically surrounded around women and empowerment of women. But when I moved here, I definitely felt like I think I was just more so nervous or uncomfortable. I feel comfortable with the people that like I know. And so I just put in my head that like, oh, I'm never going to have another friends like the friends that I have back home, you know, in Ohio. So I just wasn't very open.
Yeah.
But I do think that like going to all of those mom events, that's how I met Lizzie, like a lot of different women. And then you start to notice like, okay, there's people that I really vibe with, but then it's always like, they always live far. That's always the
Everyone
problem.
in
I
LA
feel like-
lives far.
Yes, but then it's like,
it was Melanie saying 27 minutes, which is actually quite close.
yes.
But that's how life be life.
Yes, but it is. Everyone said the same thing about intention. I
Yeah.
had to start being intentional. Like I intentionally get in my car and drive to BF Egypt to see Melanie. But our children are the same age, and it's like our daughters are like little sister besties.
really
and my
are.
daughters are obsessed
Yeah.
with her son, and so it's like this makes sense. You know what I mean? So just remember that you're gonna find different groups, and it's okay to kind of like ebb and flow and figure it out. But if you specifically live in LA, you're gonna have to just be okay
Plan.
with
Yeah.
traveling and planning to see the people that
gotta
you need to
plan.
see.
Yeah. Well, we're definitely wrapping. Mamas, if you want to add anything, definitely go for it. But I do want to say we didn't do our question of the week today because our lovely guests provided their comments and thoughts. But for those who are listening who do want to send us questions, you can do so at podcasts with an S at blacklove.com or hit us on IG at the Mama's Den Podcast. And is there anything you guys want to add before we?
Thank you guys for being here.
Yeah,
thank
I just
you.
want to thank
Appreciate
you
it.
all for traveling to be with us and hang out with not the Grammys. Wrap
Grammys.
it up, music.
Wrap it up. Wrap it up.
We'll call it. We'll call it.
it.
Give it to us, Ashley. What you got?
I wanted to say thank you for coming and spending time with us. People came and then they had to go to other planes
Yes.
and baby showers.
Yes.
So like it's not lost on us to bring yourself here. I know you all have children and things to do and businesses to run, and we
Multiple
appreciate you.
businesses,
Yeah, multiple
child.
businesses and multiple things. So we just appreciate you spending time with us, and we love you all, and you're all beautiful and you all look pretty. Okay.
Can I say one last thing too? I want to shout out Honest Company who gave us some gifts for all of you and for us.
Yes. Thank
I want to
you,
shout
Honest.
out Be Rooted, Black owned, Black designed journals that also provided some stuff for all of us. And then ladies, you will be getting some gifts from the mamas, including Ashley's journal, the Forever Journal, and Felicia's candles, Mindful Fee, but also curated by Alexis P. Also provided some journals for us. It's a stationery company you must know about, Google, curated by Alexis P. because
right.
Jada Paul joined us this weekend, and she is the creator, her and her daughter. So thank you all so much for listening today. And watch our episodes on Black Love's YouTube channel every Tuesday and subscribe so you don't miss one. Same to the ladies here. If you have not subscribed, subscribe. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Okay, thank you.
Where's her wrap it up music? Chris?
Now, Chris, play the wrap it up music. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.